Hello and welcome to my review. This is Renee from Angelic Creations, and today I will be reviewing the Crystal Ally cards, The Crystal Path to Self-Knowledge by Naisha, Ahsian. I hope I've said that name right. I've got the book here. These are the cards, and the book comes with it, the guidebook, quite comprehensive actually, very thick, lots of information there. And it's very interesting because the cards themselves, if you look at that, are huge compared to your traditional sort of angel oracle card. For example, let me get a pack. So for example, a Doreen Virtue one next to it. Oh, it doesn't look so big compared, but actually when we take the cards out, there is a vast difference. So let me just do this for you. Just taking out the Doreen Virtue card, for example. On camera it's going to look different now, I bet. I hope it shows my point. So here we go, we'll open the cards. It comes in a cardboard box, very thin cardboard and very thin card. But if you see side by side, they are much bigger. So much bigger to handle. You kind of need two hands, whereas this one, you kind of can just hold it in one. You can hold that in one, but to handle them and to work with them, you'd need your two hands. So let's bring them all back here. As you can see, each card is quite flimsy, but I like it. I like that it's different to all the other cards that you can get out in the market at the moment. And each one has this lovely purple colour with a clear crystal on the back. Nice and crisp, nice and simple. And then if you turn them round, the images are very interesting because I read Naisha's story that she wasn't very good at art. She didn't consider herself very good, so she challenged herself to do these images via the computer. So it's digital art. And I like some of them. I don't love all of them, I have to be honest, but I do love her cards. I love working with them and handling them, and I like the cardstock. And they're kind of slightly glossy there. And some of the images are interesting. Some of them I don't really resonate with that well with, but even so, I like to work with them. And because they represent the crystals and they show the crystals in the various pictures, I mean that dioptase crystal is there, here it's incorporated into the image. For example, phenacite, I think that's how you say it, labradorite, she's done them computer generated, and some of them are good, some of them not so good. Danburite I think is beautiful. She's captured that really well, and I think that is a real Danburite crystal in there. It has been photographed and incorporated in the picture. Represents spirit, connections to angelic kingdom, higher vibrations. I'll go through each one in a minute, but as you can see, they're quite big. Like that, Larimar, rose quartz. And so as you see how I'm handling them, I've got sort of, it's quite small hands anyway, but even so, it's doable. You've got to use two hands. So for example, if I have to shuffle this way, it's quite tricky, as you can see, and it's hard for me because I'm working around a tripod as well, so it's doubly hard, and it's kind of hard to do it this way. You couldn't really, I think you need bigger hands to manage it this way, but you know, if you wanted to do this, if you wanted to mix it up like this, it's fine. And I just love the feel of them. And I love how she's written out the explanations in her book, which, as I said, there's a lot of information there. Let's bring the book over again. There's a lot of information here about each card. They come from different elements. You've got the storm element, the wind, the earth, the water, the fire. And she'll talk about, for example, let's take this one, carnelian is an action crystal, and she'll explain the image. In this image, the male aspect of spirit has come to the end of his road. He must take action in order to move forward in his path, even though the way is difficult and the chasm deep. So she'll go into the meaning of the card and sayings and other information there, and then she'll give you the message of the card, what the crystal message is for you, how it's speaking to you. So for example here, carnelian has called upon you today in order to remind you of your course of action. Seeking spiritual guidance and advice is the first step in creating your reality, but the second and most important step is to take action upon that inner guidance. Without action there is no creation, and we have chosen to come into this world in order to learn to co-create with the universe. Do not fear action because of the possibility of failure. There is no failure, there are just as there are no mistakes. Each action that you take leads you to a learning experience. Every learning experience that you have adds to the store of wisdom that you can share with others and leads you closer to your goal of self-understanding. Listen to your higher guidance, open yourself up to the path that the universe is clearing for you, and take a step forward. Carnelian has come to guide you on your path of action. The chakra it corresponds to, she says, and she gives an example in each one, is in this case the navel chakra, and she gives you an affirmation as well. So in the as for the carnelian, the affirmation is, I'm willing to create my reality. And there you go. And I find some of her explanations really, really interesting. I can't bring up one to mind, but just I love some of her wordings and her thoughts around the crystals, and you know, the fact that the crystals choose you, and you know, their messages from the earth. She gives you various spreads that you can do with the cards. And what I'm trying to do with my clients as well is make sure that I've got all these crystals here available for the client to then go away with and work with. So if you chose malachite, if I had a piece of malachite here, I would share it with you. You could go away with it and work with it, meditate with it, work with it on your body, use it for healing, for meditation. And that's the nice thing about these cards, is that they all do correspond to a crystal and or to an element that you can work with at home after having the reading. So for example, this is see if I have one here. This is rhodonite. Let's move the book out of the way again. So here's rhodonite. I do have a selection of rhodonite here just to hand, so I'd get you to work with one or a few stones of rhodonite there to release and to spark your talents. So there, I mean, I just love playing with it. As you can see, I'm just playing with cards, enjoying them. Here we go. Clear quartz is an easy one. It's pretty easy to get hold of clear quartz. Most metaphysical stores will carry them. I have lots, so I'm just going to get a handful here, for example. So, you know, we'll do reading, and then you can work with the crystal that you pick. And it's so much fun. I think that's what I love about these cards, is that it's tactile. So not only are the cards very tactile because they're so big and you can handle them, they're nice and smooth, and they bend really easily. I like that. Maybe some people wouldn't like that, but I actually like it. But it's tactile in the fact that if you did get the corresponding crystal, you could work with them, play with them, handle them, feel their energy, meditate with them. It's really beautiful. So there. Now let me show you each card so you get a good understanding and a good view of each of them. So if you do choose to buy these cards or work with these cards, you have an idea of what they look like. So there you go, sorry about that. Lapis lazuli, self-knowledge there. Storm, one of the elements. Earth, once again another element. Divine connection, amethyst. It's an interesting image there. I like this one. I've always liked this one. What do you think? Let me know your favourite card or crystal in the comments section of this video. You know, and if you've worked with crystals before, how has it served you? Have you found them to be useful or insightful in some way? I think it's lovely to work with the earth in this way. I've had crystal healing myself, and I incorporate it sometimes, and I use it within Aurosoma because of course Aurosoma have crystal energies aligned with the bottles. That's a nice image, the child within. And I like the simplicity of that one. I like the colours. Black tourmaline. Aventurine. I have some here. Every time I find one where I have a crystal nearby, maybe I could show you that. Oops. That's Aventurine. It's fun, isn't it? I love the sound that they make. You could do some nice spreads with your crystals as well, you know, with intention, with meaning. You could lay a crystal grid. You know, crystals like their own space. I read they don't like to be kept together, you know, all jumbled up. It's kind of disrespectful. So it's nice to give them their own identity and space and be respectful to them, and they'll respect you. So thank you very much. Good to talk to them too. Treat them like the rare jewels that they are, because of obviously each crystal is unique. Citrine, I think I've got some citrine here. Oh, not immediately right next to me, somewhere else in the shop. That's okay. And I have some carnelian here. I'll just grab a few here. There you go. Use that in your palm whenever you need to take action. It will help give you courage to take that leap that you need to take. So yeah, I think that's why I like these cards, the fact that they correspond to the crystals, because they're about crystal energy. I'm just going to take them away, let you view them a little longer. Put them next to, so you can see the card as well. Give them a bit of space to breathe after what I just said earlier. Yeah, thank you, Carnelian. So you can have a lot of fun with these cards if you bought the crystals as well. Not that you have to. That's the beauty about having the cards. If you don't have space, or if you can't afford or can't source the crystals, you know, the fact that you've got the cards is enough. You can have your reading from just the cards, from the messages that it brings you there. Same thing, it's just it's more powerful if you do have the crystals physically with you. But same thing, you can still meditate on the card. She's incorporated the crystal into each image. Here. So for example, I really don't like criticizing anybody's work. I like to respect everyone's creativity, but it wouldn't be a fair review if I just said for every single review, love it, 5 stars. I'll say it again, I do love these cards, but for example, this isn't my favorite image in terms of the computer graphicness of this. It's a bit 1980s or something, so I don't know. The sirens are agreeing with me. So, you know, maybe you like that kind of pixelatedness. I don't know. And the plants as well. I don't know. There's just something about some of the computerized images I find a little bit odd or old-fashioned. You know, did you ever watch The Lawnmower Man? Don't know why I'm bringing that up in a review such as this, but that's what it reminds me of, this sort of pixelated, old-fashioned graphic, computer graphic. And we've gone so far now into the advanced stages of computer graphics. You know, cartoons nowadays even look incredibly real. But still, there's a charm to these cards. You know, like this, for example. I think I like the simpler ones, the ones that don't require too much artistic like that. See, it reminds me of The Lawnmower Man. But you know, fair dues to her. She admits herself she didn't think she could do the images, and she's done them. So respect. And that's interesting. So I do like some of them. I like some of them and I don't like some of them. I think, for example, the card that I just showed you there, like, so the simpler ones, the ones that are just sort of elemental or just the crystals, I like. The ones with sort of people in them, or, yeah, I don't like so much. I don't know, maybe I'm just used to working with sort of Doreen Virtue type cards where the people are drawn in really detailed, really lifelike, realistically. That's not bad. I like that in terms of the figure. But do you know what I mean? I mean, that's just my personal preference. You might like these images. You might really resonate with them. And so if you do, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude or disrespectful. But that's just my take on them. But as a whole, like I say, I do love these cards. I love handling them. I love the energy that comes off them and the messages that they have, and especially the way that she's written them. Rose quartz. I thought I had some rose quartz nearby. It's in another part of the shop, so it's okay. I do like danburite. It's very crystally. It's a bit like clear quartz, but even shinier. taking my time with this. It's as if, you know, you were in a shop and you were handling the cards yourself. I want to give you that experience so that, you know, if you did want to buy these cards, you know what you're getting. That's what I always want from reviews I see online. I'm like, oh, I want to see all the cards. So I thought I'd do my own to show you all the cards. Selenite's always very interesting. I don't think this captures the selenite wand quality as well as it can, but you can usually see really fine striations there, and then you can put light underneath it. They look like towers of, I don't know, crystal towers, almost like where Superman came from. The kryptonite or whatever. No, that's his nemesis, isn't it? That's not good for him. It's the other one, where he comes from. If anyone knows that, please put it in the comments. I forget where he comes from. But yeah, the crystal kingdom that he comes from, supposedly. In fact, if you hold on 1 second, I do have a selenite wand close by. Just bear with me. So for example, here's a lovely piece. It's one of my favourite pieces. Can you see the striations? Don't know if the light is capturing that. And you imagine standing that on some coloured lights. I've done it before and I've got a light box and it's just stunning. I think you can buy selenite lamps. Pretty expensive, but they're really lovely, gorgeous. There you go, look at that selenite. I love it. I love that there's a corresponding card to a crystal that you may have at home or that you can easily purchase. So there's selenite, thank you very much. Coming to the end here. It's kind of futuristic-y as well, in a way. It's computerized images. I find them a little bit scary, like this one, for example. But then I love the crystals that are associated with it. Or maybe it's meant to be scary, look, because the image is about courage. But some of these, you know, maybe even this. Do you know what I mean? Am I being unfair? But yeah, in terms of all the oracle cards that I own, I have many, many packs. I won't say that these are my favourite images per se, but they are one of my favourite card decks, if that makes sense. Just because of the way that you handle them, and they feel great, and the messages are fantastic, the way she's written them. And so, you know, they're fun to play with, to work with. I love it. Look, see, you can do a spread, for example. Let's do this. Let's pretend that's a spread, and that's what they look like in that kind of setting. And then, you know, say you have your spread there, and you wanted to incorporate the stones. I don't have the other stones. It's probably not the best example, but for example, you know, you working with it, or if you are a reader, you're working with a client, it's lovely to be able to, sorry, that's not showing, is it? It's lovely to be able to use other tools to help someone on their healing or transformational or insightful journey, on their psychic journeys. Yes. So, just going back to the wisdom of these cards, let me just spread them out for you. Naisha, give them a shuffle. She's written really well. I like the way she writes. do that nice and colourful. Let's pick a few. That's my favourite card. That's my favourite card. Right. Okay, just picking a few just to show you there. Yeah, she's written really well. And her book says, experience the wisdom and power of your crystal allies. The Crystal Ally cards, the crystal path to self-knowledge, reveals a whole new level of gemstone information and then takes you one step farther, allowing you to immediately apply that knowledge to situations in your own life. The rich artwork of the Crystal Ally cards creates a field of energetic resonance with the user, allowing you to use the cards to divine current and future life issues, work a path to a personal spiritual growth, or even heal yourself and others through the application of crystal energies. These powerful images combine digital stone photography with original visionary art, creating powerful energetic tools for inner exploration. And then she says, this book, The Crystal Ally Cards Companion Guide contains exciting and illuminating information on the metaphysical properties of crystals and stones, connecting with your crystal and elemental allies, affirmations, meditations and exercise for personal growth, the practice of crystal resonance therapy from the creator of the system, elemental and crystal magic, and finally, using the cards as healing or divination tools. So there you go. I love it. Heaven and Earth Publishing. Love that. Yeah, and like I said, lots of information contained herein about each single card. I haven't even studied all of the cards yet. I'm still working through them by giving myself and my clients readings, but I still chance upon a card that I don't know much about, and it's a joy to read about it, especially the way she describes them. She gives you the layouts, chakra spreads, the pyramid spread, heaven and earth spread, how to awaken a crystal, meditations to connect with the different elements like the earth. For example, take a pot of earth in your hands, hold it, blah blah blah, wind, fire, water, move a bowl of water in front of you. You know, very practical, quite easy to do meditations. It's brilliant. And to be honest, I haven't read all of it, so I will. I've kind of been dipping in and out of this because that's how I've enjoyed playing with the crystals. And like other cards, other card decks and other systems of healing, I don't always like to read everything that the author has written per se. I like to experience the cards raw myself. So just like when I watch a film, I don't necessarily listen to critics. I experience it for myself and see what I can pick up instinctively. And I think that's how you can work as well if you want to, if you're intuitive. But, you know, if you want to read about it first, that's fine too. Why not? So there you go. My review for this card deck is great. I think it's another 4 or 5 star review, simply for the fact that I love working with them. Look at that, so colourful when they're out like that. They're very different from the other cards I use, mainly the Doreen Virtue cards or the other very pretty, girlified tarot cards or the traditional Rider-Waite. But that's the beauty of oracle cards. They have their own personalities, their own strengths and weaknesses. And for this card deck, I say give it a go. It's a lot of fun. Love the way it feels, love the way it speaks to me, and I hope it speaks to you well too. So thumbs up, yay! I hope you enjoy these cards too. Hope you've enjoyed my review. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. There are many more reviews there. I'll be doing books and films soon, spiritual books and films. I have free readings on there. I've yet to do a Crystal Ally card reading as of today, but you never know. When you finally watch this, when I finally release it, I may have a reading or 2 there. So do keep checking. So subscribe to YouTube, connect with me on social media, Facebook, Twitter. It's Angelic Creations page on Facebook. And also, if you want to, I really highly recommend that you join my mailing list so that you can receive angel mail every month. go to my website, www.angelic-creations.net, and you can get so much information there, lots of other resources there. You'll find out when I'm in your area giving workshops or readings or sessions, courses, etc. Oracle card reading courses, etc. Things like that. And yeah, get your free gift there, the 5 spiritual principles to living a great life. That will come into your inbox straight away once you put your email in. And all that's left to be said is namaste. Have a great day.